My dear friends, life is not measured by the distance we walk but by the spirit in which we walk it. Every man and woman rises or falls, not by chance, but by the attitude they carry within their hearts. Attitude is the invisible compass that determines your direction. It is the inner weather that shapes the outer climate of your world. When your attitude is high, your altitude follows. When your mind soars in faith, your life begins to ascend to heights once thought impossible. You see, life responds to your inner vibration, not your outer condition. The same wind blows on us all, but it fills one person's sails and capsizes another's boat. Why? Because of attitude. Your attitude is the magnet of your experiences. It attracts to you every circumstance that matches its tone. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and resentment, the world will mirror back more of the same. But if your heart radiates gratitude, confidence, and expectancy, the universe bends to meet you in blessing. A positive attitude is not mere optimism. It is divine alignment. It is knowing that no matter what appears before you, there is a higher order working through you. It is the quiet conviction that life is for you, not against you. The one who walks in this knowing cannot be defeated, because they are attuned to the law of life that says, "As within, so without." When you stand firm in joy, even the mountains move aside to make way for your destiny. There are those who look at the storm and see destruction, while others look and see renewal. Both are correct, for life gives each person what they expect. The difference is attitude. The victorious mind looks at challenges and whispers, "There is a blessing hidden here, waiting for me to uncover it." Such a person is never crushed by circumstances, for they know every setback is a setup for elevation. If you wish to rise higher, begin by lifting your thoughts. A bird cannot soar with its wings weighed down, and neither can a human spirit burdened by complaint, bitterness, or doubt. Release the heavy thoughts that chain you to the ground. Replace them with words of power, faith, and gratitude. Say to yourself each morning, "Today, I rise above appearances, I walk in light, I choose joy, I expect miracles." Then watch as your world rearranges itself to match your new altitude. The secret is simple. The outer follows the inner. The mountain of success, peace, and prosperity is climbed not by muscle but by mindset. Every great achievement begins as a seed of belief, nurtured by the sunlight of positive expectation. Your attitude waters that seed. Keep it bathed in faith, and soon, it will bloom into a life beyond your dreams. Remember, no one can hold you down unless you agree to stay low. The only limits that exist are those you accept. When you lift your thoughts to the realm of possibility, you call forth the power that created the stars to work through you. You begin to see that your altitude is not determined by circumstances, but by the elevation of your consciousness. So guard your attitude as you would guard a treasure. Keep it pure, bright, and steadfast. Let your mind dwell on beauty, your heart rest in gratitude, and your words speak life. In doing so, you will rise, not by striving, but by allowing. The wind of divine order will lift you, and life itself will become your flight. For your attitude, dear soul, determines your altitude. And when your heart is set toward the light, there are no heights you cannot reach. Your attitude shapes your reality, not your circumstances. The truth is that life does not respond to what happens to you. It responds to what you believe about what happens to you. Every event, every meeting, every challenge is neutral until you give it meaning. And the meaning you give springs directly from your attitude. Two people can walk through the same storm. One curses the rain, while the other blesses the nourishment it brings. The outer situation remains the same, but their inner worlds create two entirely different experiences. This is the divine law of mental correspondence. What you hold in mind, you hold in your world. When your attitude is rooted in fear, resentment, or limitation, you unconsciously shape your reality to match that vibration. When your attitude is filled with faith, gratitude, and expectancy, you open invisible doors to opportunities that were always there, waiting for your awareness to rise high enough to see them. Attitude is not just a mood. It is an energy field that you carry. It moves before you, speaks for you, and shapes how the universe interacts with you. A person who wakes up declaring, "This will be a blessed day," sets a vibration in motion that colors every encounter. The same person, if they begin their morning in complaint or worry, calls forth experiences that echo that inner discord. The world is not cruel or kind by nature. It is reflective. It mirrors the energy you send into it. That is why the most powerful shift you can ever make is not in your job, your relationship, or your environment, but in your inner conversation. The words you speak silently to yourself sculpt the reality you live in tomorrow. Consider a gardener tending to their soil. If they plant seeds of weeds, they cannot harvest flowers. Yet many souls scatter thoughts of lack, fear, and unworthiness into the fertile ground of their minds, and then wonder why their garden of life blooms with struggle. Your attitude is the gardener's hand. It decides which seeds to nurture and which to uproot. When you choose thoughts of joy, peace, and faith, you are planting the seeds of a higher life. When you choose doubt, complaint, and worry, you are sowing thorns. Life is always growing something. Your attitude determines what that something will be. Your circumstances are only mirrors showing you the state of your inner beliefs. Change your attitude, and the mirror image must change. The outer world cannot resist the inner decree. You may find yourself surrounded by limitation, yet if your attitude remains steadfast in abundance, doors will appear where walls once stood. You may be in the midst of difficulty, yet if your attitude holds to faith, the very challenge becomes the tool that refines your strength. The alchemy of attitude transforms obstacles into opportunities and delays into divine timing. What others call misfortune, a person of right attitude recognizes as preparation. There is an invisible law that says, as you see it, so it shall be. The attitude through which you view life determines what you perceive and what you receive. A grateful heart notices blessings that others overlook. A resentful mind overlooks blessings that others see. Life is not something happening to you. It is something responding through you. You are not the victim of circumstances. You are the director of perception. And the lens of perception is attitude. Every thought is a brushstroke painting your world in either light or shadow. The mind that sees beauty creates beauty. The mind that expects good attracts good. When you understand this, you stop fighting the outer world and begin mastering the inner one. You realize that peace, joy, and success are not outcomes. They are frequencies. You cannot attract a higher frequency from a lower attitude. If you wish for abundance, you must think abundantly. If you wish for love, you must radiate love. If you wish for success, you must hold the feeling of success long before the evidence appears. This is not pretending, it is spiritual alignment. You are tuning your inner world to the channel of what you desire so that your reality has no choice but to broadcast it. Even in the face of adversity, attitude is the difference between sinking and soaring. When everything seems lost, the mind trained in faith says, something greater is unfolding. That single decision, to interpret life through trust rather than fear, changes the entire course of destiny. Every great leader, artist, and visionary understood this law. They did not allow appearances to dictate their inner state. They stood firm in an attitude of possibility, when the outer world offered none. That inner steadfastness eventually bent the outer world to match it. The universe always rearranges itself around the vibration of a determined heart. To maintain the right attitude, you must guard your thoughts as carefully as a jeweler guards gems. You cannot afford to entertain ideas that contradict the life you desire. Every complaint, every word of fear, every internal, I can't, is a thief of your elevation. Replace them immediately with words of truth. I am guided, I am supported, I am capable, I am blessed. Speak these not as mere affirmations, but as declarations of divine authority. Your words are the brush that paints the masterpiece of your life, and your attitude is the color palette. Choose the hues of hope, gratitude, and joy, and watch your reality reflect that radiance. People often say, I will change my attitude when things get better. But life works in reverse. Things get better when you change your attitude. Waiting for external change is like waiting for a mirror to smile before you do. The reflection moves only when you move. When you start seeing your world through the lens of faith and expectation, it begins to transform in ways you could never orchestrate by effort alone. Opportunities align. People appear, and solutions unfold with ease. It is as though life was waiting all along for your attitude to rise high enough to receive its gifts. This understanding brings freedom. You no longer need to control every circumstance or predict every outcome. Your task is simple: keep your attitude pure, bright, and faithful. Keep your heart turned toward possibility. The rest follows naturally. When you walk in this awareness, nothing external can shake you, for you know that your true power lies within. The winds may change, but your inner compass stays steady. The outer world bends to meet the firmness of your belief. The radiant mind becomes a magnet to radiant experiences. Every sunrise becomes a promise, every challenge a teacher, every delay a divine pause filled with hidden purpose. The higher your attitude, the higher your altitude, for your world cannot rise above the thoughts that govern it. Faith-filled thoughts lift you. Fear-filled thoughts limit you. Within every mind, there is a quiet battlefield where faith and fear contend for dominion. One builds bridges over invisible waters. The other digs trenches that imprison the soul. Every thought you allow to linger in your mind becomes a builder of your reality, shaping unseen forces into form. Faith-filled thoughts rise like wings, lifting your spirit to the level of divine possibility. Fear-filled thoughts, however, act like weights, anchoring your heart to the realm of limitation and delay. The mind that believes in divine order moves through storms with calm assurance, while the mind that trembles in fear turns even the calmest sea into chaos. The difference between the two is not the circumstance, but the consciousness. Faith is the quiet knowing that what you seek already exists in the unseen, waiting for your recognition. It is not wishful thinking but spiritual certainty. Faith says, "Though I do not see the path, I know the way is being prepared." It lifts the soul above appearances and tunes it to the vibration of fulfillment. Fear, on the other hand, believes only what the eyes can see and what the past can prove. It binds the imagination to evidence and strangles possibility. When fear governs the mind, creative power becomes paralyzed, for the mind cannot create in faith and fear at the same time. These two forces cannot occupy the same space, one must yield to the other. The moment faith enters, fear dissolves like mist before the morning sun. Every great transformation begins when faith replaces fear as the guiding force of thought. Faith-filled thoughts do not deny facts, they transcend them. They acknowledge that higher laws govern the visible world. When you think in faith, you align with the law of infinite supply, divine timing, and spiritual protection. You begin to sense that every delay carries hidden wisdom, every obstacle conceals an opportunity, and every loss is a passage to something greater. Fear-filled thoughts see endings, faith-filled thoughts see beginnings. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith says, "What if I fly?" Fear asks for guarantees. Faith walks forward knowing that certainty comes only after commitment. The one who chooses faith steps into partnership with the unseen power that created worlds. Your thoughts are seeds, and faith is the soil in which miracles grow. When you think thoughts of confidence, hope, and gratitude, you are cultivating the fertile ground of manifestation. The moment you allow fear to take root, you plant thorns that choke the life from your dreams. The wise soul tends to their inner garden daily, pulling up weeds of doubt, and watering the seeds of faith with words of affirmation and gratitude. All things are working for my good. I am divinely guided. My steps are ordered. These are not idle phrases. They are spiritual keys that unlock the higher realm of creation. Fear whispers of scarcity, faith declares abundance. Fear imagines loss, faith expects increase. The energy of your thoughts shapes the frequency of your life, and the universe responds faithfully to whichever vibration you choose. Faith-filled thoughts elevate your perception. They allow you to see beyond appearances and recognize divine order even in chaos. When challenges arise, a fearful mind asks, "Why me?" A faithful mind says, "What lesson of strength is hidden here?" This subtle shift in perception turns pain into power. The person who thinks in faith never sees themselves as a victim but as a student of life, guided and equipped for every moment. Fear shrinks your world, faith expands it. Fear makes you cling, faith teaches you to release. Fear says, "I must do this alone." Faith reminds you, "I am never alone." When you fill your mind with faith, your body, speech, and actions follow. You begin to speak words that uplift, decisions flow with clarity, and your energy becomes magnetic. Others feel your peace and are drawn to your light without knowing why. Faith does not only transform the unseen world, it reshapes the physical one. It restores harmony to relationships, attracts opportunity, and invites abundance. It does so because it shifts your vibration to the frequency of divine order. The outer world is merely the echo of your inner song. When faith sings, the universe harmonizes with it. Fear, by contrast, is the shadow cast by a mind that has forgotten its source. It is born of separation, the illusion that you are cut off from divine supply, divine love, divine protection. When you think from fear, you send out vibrations of resistance that block your blessings. You may pray for abundance but secretly doubt it will come. That doubt neutralizes your desire. You may ask for guidance but fear the outcome. That fear clouds your vision. The power of faith is not in words alone, but in the unwavering certainty behind them. You must believe before you see, trust before you know, release before you receive. Fear waits for evidence, faith creates it. To think in faith is to align with divine intelligence. It means surrendering control of how and when and resting in the assurance that what belongs to you cannot be withheld. Faith-filled thoughts act as keys, unlocking the invisible storehouses of supply. When you affirm that good is flowing to you now, you open channels through which that good must appear. When you worry and doubt, you close those same channels. Fear is a gatekeeper that guards the door of limitation. Faith is the key that opens it wide. Every time you choose faith over fear, you shift the entire trajectory of your life. The energy you carry determines what you attract. A fearful heart vibrates at scarcity, drawing more experiences that confirm its worries. A faithful heart radiates abundance, magnetizing more good. This is not superstition, it is spiritual law. You cannot dwell in fear and receive peace. You cannot think lack and experience wealth. The vibration of your thoughts writes the script of your reality, and the pen is always in your hand. When fear whispers that you are unworthy, faith replies that you are chosen. When fear warns that you will fail, faith reminds you that you are guided. When fear screams that you have reached the end, faith softly declares that you are only at a beginning. The one who fills their mind with faith-filled thoughts walks through life as a co-creator, not a captive. They understand that their reality bends to the strength of their belief. Fear drains energy, faith restores it. Fear isolates, faith connects. Fear paralyzes, faith moves mountains. The mind cannot serve two masters. It must choose daily which power to follow. Every moment presents a choice, to think in fear or to think in faith. The more often you choose faith, the stronger that spiritual muscle becomes. Eventually, faith becomes your natural state, your default vibration. Then, even when storms arise, your inner peace remains unshaken. You learn to smile in uncertainty, to rest in waiting, and to trust in unseen timing. Your thoughts no longer spiral downward with worry. They rise upward in expectation. You begin to live from the understanding that the universe is benevolent, that life supports you, and that every need is already met in divine order. Faith-filled thoughts lift you above confusion, while fear-filled thoughts keep you circling the same ground. The altitude of your life is decided by which one you choose to dwell in. Gratitude and positive expectation attract higher outcomes. The heart that gives thanks opens invisible doors, for gratitude is the language of divine alignment. It is not merely a polite response to good fortune. It is a spiritual force that multiplies every blessing it touches. When you live in gratitude, you send a message to the universe that you already possess abundance, and that signal draws more abundance to you. Gratitude is the magnet of miracles, for it transforms ordinary moments into sacred encounters. When you wake each morning and give thanks, not for what you wish to have, but for what you already hold, you awaken the law of increase. Whatever you appreciate, appreciates. The mind that dwells in gratitude sees beauty where others see lack. It looks at the simplest thing, a sunrise, a breath, a smile, and says, "This is enough." In that moment of contentment, the heart expands, and that expansion invites more to fill its space. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, and where focus goes, energy flows. The grateful person becomes a channel for more good, because they recognize the good already flowing. Life mirrors their attitude by offering continual evidence of grace. On the other hand, when the mind lives in complaint or disappointment, it shuts the door of increase. To complain is to affirm lack, and whatever you affirm, you multiply. Positive expectation is the twin of gratitude. Gratitude says, I am blessed now, while positive expectation says, more blessings are on the way. Together they form a magnetic field that draws favorable outcomes from unseen realms. Expectation is faith in motion. It is the confident assurance that the future holds good things. When you expect good, you align your energy with divine flow. You send forth a vibration that calls opportunities, ideas, and encounters to match your optimism. The universe responds to your dominant expectation. If you expect delay, you create delay. If you expect success, you summon success. Life is impartial, it echoes what you broadcast. Gratitude keeps you rooted in the present, while expectation lifts you toward the future. The combination of both balances your spiritual alignment. Gratitude anchors you in peace, expectation propels you in purpose. The one who lives in these vibrations cannot sink, for their energy is buoyant. The grateful heart does not wait for conditions to improve. It praises before the harvest, and in doing so, accelerates the harvest. Gratitude before the blessing is faith, gratitude after the blessing is recognition. Both are powerful, but the former holds creative magic. When you give thanks in advance, you proclaim trust in divine timing. You declare that your good is already here in essence, awaiting form. The law of attraction is not a trick of the mind, it is a truth of vibration. You are a tuning fork resonating with the frequency of your dominant thoughts and emotions. Gratitude raises that frequency higher than any other emotion. It clears resistance and allows the current of abundance to flow freely. When you are grateful, you cannot be fearful. When you expect good, you cannot attract misfortune. The higher your emotional vibration, the higher the quality of experiences drawn into your orbit. You become a living beacon of prosperity, joy, and harmony, not because of effort, but because of alignment. A grateful person walks through life differently. They move slowly enough to notice the gifts that others overlook. They speak words that uplift rather than diminish. They radiate calm even in chaos because they trust in divine order. Gratitude teaches the soul to see that even apparent losses are gifts in disguise. It shifts the perspective from, why is this happening to me? To, what is this teaching me? That subtle change opens hidden doors of understanding. Life begins to respond with clarity instead of confusion, peace instead of frustration, opportunity instead of limitation. Gratitude is the alchemy that turns what you have into enough, and more than enough. Positive expectation builds upon this foundation. It is the quiet knowing that every prayer has already been answered in the unseen. It is the inner conviction that good is on its way, even when appearances seem otherwise. Expectation creates momentum. It sets your energy into forward motion. When you live in expectation, you meet each moment with readiness, not resistance. You stop doubting and start preparing. You take inspired action because you know that life is collaborating with you. The universe delights in a mind that expects miracles, for that mind becomes a vessel through which those miracles can appear. Gratitude and expectation also guard your energy. They prevent you from sinking into the low vibrations of worry, envy, or self-pity. Worry closes your channels, gratitude opens them. Envy blocks your blessings, gratitude multiplies them. Self-pity anchors you in limitation, expectation lifts you toward possibility. Each time you consciously choose gratitude over grievance, you elevate your frequency. Each time you replace fear with faith-filled expectation, you raise your altitude. It is a constant inner practice, a quiet discipline of the heart. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, until you live in a continual state of flow, where blessings seem to find you effortlessly. Even in times of waiting, gratitude keeps the energy alive. Waiting in fear creates stagnation, but waiting in gratitude creates preparation. It tells the universe, I am ready to receive. The vibration of readiness invites manifestation. Gratitude softens impatience by shifting your focus from absence to abundance. You begin to see that divine timing is perfect, and that what you desire is unfolding in the best possible way. The one who waits in gratitude never waits in vain, because their energy keeps the door open. To cultivate gratitude and positive expectation, begin with small things. Each day, find reasons to say thank you, not as habit, but as awareness. Notice the light filtering through your window, the taste of water, the kindness of a stranger. Speak gratitude aloud. Let it move through your voice and body. Then, extend that same gratitude toward what is yet to come. Give thanks for the opportunity that has not yet arrived, for the healing that is already on its way, for the prosperity that exists in the unseen. This practice rewires your consciousness to expect blessings naturally. You begin to anticipate good rather than fear lack. You awaken each morning not wondering what might go wrong, but excited to see what will go right. When gratitude becomes your daily rhythm, you attract people and circumstances that reflect that vibration. Others sense peace in your presence. Doors open effortlessly. Delays dissolve without struggle. It is not because life suddenly becomes easier. It is because your energy becomes clearer. The outer world can only mirror the harmony of your inner world. When your heart is a sanctuary of gratitude, your life becomes a reflection of heaven's abundance. The energy of positive expectation carries you further. It teaches you to expect beauty even in the unknown. It is a gentle, confident faith that says, "Something wonderful is always on its way to me." This expectation does not demand or grasp, it trusts and allows. It is the calm assurance of one who knows the universe is benevolent. Each thought of gratitude adds a note to the symphony of creation, and each expectation of good amplifies its music. Together, they form the rhythm of abundance, a dance between appreciation and anticipation. To live in gratitude and positive expectation is to live in harmony with the highest laws of life. It aligns you with the frequency of joy, peace, and prosperity. It transforms every step of your journey into an unfolding of grace. Gratitude grounds you in the richness of the present moment, while positive expectation lifts your gaze to the blessings that are on their way. This divine combination magnetizes your highest good, expands your consciousness, and opens every door that once seemed closed. In this state, life no longer feels like a struggle to achieve. It becomes a celebration of receiving, a continual ascent toward higher outcomes guided by the quiet power of a thankful heart and an expectant mind.